Hello, welcome to Brown Dog Gadgets Live. I am Amanda, the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Brown Dog Gadgets. Pete's putting this little image up just to give you a heads up. If you hear some really loud banging, that's the construction next door. There it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is literally right
on the wall.
There.
Yeah, we're getting some new neighbors, which is great.
Yeah.
But they're building out the space and a little noisy sometimes.
The actual neighbors will be very quiet.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they're not going to do any.
The construction itself, on the other hand,
Fine.
a little iffy.
Might be
but
another couple weeks or a month. But
that's all right.
Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah. So, side note, big banging noises, drilling noises, not me. Yeah. Behind the camera, we've got Pete.
I'm still here.
Yay. Also, if you have not followed us on our social media platforms, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, and YouTube. The templates that you see today and all of our fun projects are all on browndoggadgets.com. If you have any questions, comments, if you hear the knocking, if you don't, if you just want to send us emojis, feel free. We love to chat. And then if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to email us at help@browndoggadgets.com. Also, main plug for right now, there is a sign up going on for an awesome opportunity for K-12 educators in the United States. You do need to be a public or charter educator, but there is something called Pathfinder Summer Institute. It is a 40-hour workshop this summer. It is free for you, and you get a bunch of stuff from us. So our actual session is called Circuitry and Robotics with Lego and Microbit. So you can see the image right there. If you would like to sign up for that free workshop, you can sign up right here and then go find that. We don't have a lot of spots left. Do it soon.
Yeah. Totally.
Awesome. Today we are going to be doing Shivers the Penguin. He does have a nice green band and a nice green bow tie.
Yeah.
So, some of it looks like he's floating.
Yeah.
If we check out the overhead cam, I'll show you how Shivers works. He vibrates around.
Almost as loud as that drill from the other day.
Right? This is me making the noise, not the neighbors.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, breakdance time. All right.
Goodness.
So, we're going to build Shivers today.
All right.
I've got my hot glue gun going just to be ready. So this is the template. This is what you'll find on browndoggadgets.com. It is free, so you can print the template off on your own. I would highly suggest printing on a heavier cardstock to make sure that it stands up to the circuitry itself, building the cube, all of that good stuff. So this is the template. So you would color it and cut it out. So we've got our pieces here. The body for Shivers is two pieces that will go together for the cube. Then we've got the pieces for his hat, which, to be honest, I think if we built it again, we'd probably fuss around with this a little bit. So it can be a little futzy, but overall, it works because there's no circuitry in the hat. It's decoration. And we've got his wings. Wings? Right?
Fins?
Fins?
Arms? Flappy bits?
Yeah.
Sure.
If you know specifically
What are those things?
which ones we're supposed to call these on the Penguin, put it in the chat. This piece we will use for the switch, which is also going to be the tail, so we'll do a little bit of cutting when we fold that. Then we've got the flippers or the feet, and he needs a bow tie because why wouldn't he have a bow tie?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the real
fancy.
question.
He's wearing a tuxedo, so why not, right?
Exactly. All right, so we're going to first start by building our circuit. Now, it's hard to see because I did color this in black, but on this piece here, there is a little slit that says insert. This is where we're going to insert our switch to be able to turn it on and off, just like I have on the back here. So to do that, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and cut a slit. It's a nice drilling sound now. I feel like I like it better than the banging sound.
Yeah, If the banging is like 2 or 3, it's okay. But if it
Right.
goes on longer, and the drilling is kind of consistent for, both at the same time.
Wow. Good stuff.
Oh,
All right.
one
So
guy
I've
over
cut
here.
my slit in
There we go.
my template. This one doesn't necessarily have a template built onto the back of it. This is just one of the projects that we did before doing that. However, it is a really simplistic circuit that we're going to build. There is a diagram for it in the actual guide, but what I build right now might not be exactly the same. I'm just going to kind of wing it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you build these circuits a few times, it really is easy to recreate it and kind of just come up with what works for you as long as you know the basics of how to build it.
Yeah.
We're going to build the circuit with our maker tape. Maker tape is nylon conductive tape. It's the far superior cousin to copper foil tape. It is the bee's knees, after all. There you go. See, I did it. It is Z-axis conductive, so you can overlap 2 pieces and it conducts through it. It's super strong, so you can't tear it. You do need to cut it with the scissors. And it's just a lot more consistent in how well it works.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold it close to the top, about 1 centimeter away from the top, and use the pad of my finger to pull down towards me, and it sticks to my finger. Since we built this switch, or this slit for this switch, I am going to take it and put the tape through the slit and push it down on the front side so it just has a little bit sticking through, and pull it back like so. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of that slit. And then what we'll do is we'll end up wrapping maker tape around the tail switch that we're building so that when we put that into the slit, it completes the circuit and makes our little penguin vibrate around.
It's a dancing penguin fool.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's shivering though, remember? Shivers. He shivers.
Does it make him waddle? Is he a waddling?
I mean, it would make more sense to call him
I guess.
waddles.
Well, he's named Shivers because he has a shiv.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to build a pathway that leads from this side of that slit back to the middle here. I want to make sure that when I build my circuit, these little flaps are going to end up folding in and like folding inside it from the other one. So there will be a little tab here. So I don't want to go too close to the edge with my components. The tape is fine, that won't get in the way, but I don't want to have my battery right at the edge or my motor right at the edge because it can kind of get in the way of building the cube itself. All right, then I'm going to take a piece of tape that's about 1 inch, maybe a little bit smaller. I'm going to roll it up, sticky side out, into a tape loop. And I'm going to put that right on top of this pathway here. That's going to hold my battery in place. So I'll grab the battery. Now I'm going to have the positive side facing up. It does not technically matter with my motor, the polarity of it per se, because it just changes the direction of the spin, which is not something you're going to notice in this project. All right, so I'm going to peel the backing off of my peel and stick motor and put it right about there. I literally just switched the wires because they were crossed over. It could have been the other way too. And I'm going to take a little piece of tape for each wire. For the red wire here, I'm going to tape it down to this pathway here. And I'm using the sandwich method. So I have a piece of maker tape underneath the wire and then a piece on top just to make sure it makes a solid connection. The worst is if I actually close this thing up and then it doesn't make a solid connection, I have to open it back up, and I'd rather not do that. And then the blue wire, I'm just going to tape right to the top of the battery. Now, it's not vibrating right now because we do have a gap in the circuit. Before I close up the Penguin, I want to make sure that it actually works. Very similar to the issue I was just talking about. If I close it up and it doesn't work, well, then I have to undo all my tape and open it up, and then it just causes a problem. Exactly. So I'm going to take just the roll of it with the silver side down and test it out by bridging that gap. And it definitely is like vibrating away from me. So it works. Perfect. So now we're going to fold it up. I did use an X-Acto knife and a straight edge to kind of crease or just kind of score the lines that I'm folding on ahead of time. That way it just folds easily. It makes it look neater. Just a lot cleaner of a look. All right, so this guy's folded, and then the other half of the cube, I'm gonna fold up these. It does have 2 slits on this one. That's actually going to be for the arms slash wings slash fins slash whatever
Arms,
they're officially
flippers.
called on a penguin. All right, and then I'm going to take these 2 halves and tape them together to make my cube.
I keep thinking Andy will leave a comment because he's always
Andy!
he's our science expert.
Andy, what are
animal
they
expert,
called? You know you're watching, Andy. All right. I am going to take a piece of tape on each edge and just kind of line it up. That first one could be a little bit tricky because you want to make sure you start strong.
Oh yeah.
There we go. I'm just going to go around my penguin and continue taping the edges together. So what tool was that? I don't know. There was a new sound.
Yeah, some sort of rotary tool, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's a fun one. We could play guess the tool.
That's what I was thinking too. Identify the tool based on the sound.
Guess what? And then like, oh, it's the drill.
I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do all these sides.
I have nothing
But,
else to do.
Of course, I really do like making it look nice and crisp and clean, so
You got to, yeah.
you could do a few and then, you know, some of them just have like a gap opening. That's fine too. If you're not as,
Yeah, if you don't care.
you know, retentive as me.
That's
That's what it's called.
People don't care.
Some don't.
Or they're in
and
a
that's fine.
hurry, or they're low on tape, maybe, and they're like, oh no.
That's true. So many reasons.
Lots of reasons.
Yeah.
I'm really good coming up with excuses, I've been told by someone.
Or just ways to, you know, fill the time while I'm taping on the side.
Sure. Yeah.
I think I only have one left. Yeah. There we go. Awesome. And side note, since this is on that, I colored it black, I do want to point out I actually used gift wrap tape as opposed to the regular slightly cloudy looking Scotch tape. It just gives it a cleaner look, especially when it's not on white.
Mm-hmm.
So it really kind of just disappears on there instead of giving you a cloudy look, which I appreciate.
Excellent.
All right. Now, we've got the base of our penguin. He's almost set. We've got a couple more things to do to put him together. First, I'm going to take just a little piece of tape and tape down his flipper's wings things. So I made little slits on the sides, and then I'm just going to tape it right at the top so it doesn't fall out on me. So it can still flap, but it's secure. I did color both sides of them. Pete, I know you mentioned that
Yes.
one time, so I listened.
It's a good idea.
Don't worry though, I'm working on Jumpy the Frog right now in my office. Didn't color both sides of that one.
Well, okay, I'm seeing that flippers.
Flippers.
Is what penguins
All right.
have,
Flippers are attached.
according to Wikipedia, anyway.
Here. Flippers are attached.
There you go. Hey, they're flipping.
There. All right, now we have 3 more things that we need to build. First, we're going to build the tail. So I've got the switch. I'm going to fold it in half and in half again. And when you look at the actual template, it's easier to see, but you'll see that there's this black solid line. So after I've folded it, I'm going to cut that out just to give the tail a little bit of dimension. There it is. It's hard to find on my black cutting here, or coloring. And then to build this as a switch, I'm going to add a little bit of maker tape to the end, wrapped around it. So I'm going to put it on the front side here and wrap it around to the back. And I want to test it out to make sure it bridges that gap. If the gap is too large and this is not large enough to bridge that gap, I can just add more tape to this. But we're good to go. Awesome. So the last steps, I mean, technically, you could leave him just like this.
Oh, it's not fancy enough.
It's true. You could add some, flippers. So at least he has feet. All right, so I'm just using a little bit of hot glue on the end. And then if you truthfully don't want him to be a super fancy penguin, he's done. Yeah. However, we've got some fancy ways you can add on. We've got the bow tie, first of all. I mean, who doesn't love a bow tie? Now, you could definitely use regular glue for this, but it's just not going to adhere as fast. You could tape it. Your call. Now, I'm going to build his top hat, because what penguin doesn't want a top hat? I don't know. I really have no idea.
I have some penguin facts.
I bet you do. Well, hold on. I'm going to roll this around this marker just to kind of get it bending in the correct direction. Okay, now I'm ready for your penguin.
Well, the emperor penguin, I guess, can be the tallest penguin at 1.1 meters or 3 feet 7 inches tall.
Okay.
And can weigh up to 77 pounds.
All right.
And the little blue penguin, also known as the fairy penguin,
sure,
is about 12 to 13 inches tall and can weigh between 2.6 and 2.9 pounds. So that's a tiny little, that's like a house penguin. You could have that as a pet. Keep him in the bathtub.
It's the house penguin.
Yeah. Dress them up with little costumes.
Sure. Like people, the top hat.
Yeah, so if people carry those little dogs around, you could get all these little tiny penguins.
I think so. I think that's a good idea.
Put it in a backpack and take it with you to the store.
Yep. So after I rolled it up, I just used a piece of tape on the end to hold it closed. This part is probably the trickiest part. So this part's the top of the hat. I'm going to fold all these little tabs inward, and I'm going to shove it inside and hope that it fits. And then probably throw a little hot glue on the inside just to hold it in place. Almost.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, could you put it up through the other side otherwise?
Maybe. I mean, there's probably a lot better ways of doing this than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But if I push it down from the inside,
If it works, it works. Yeah.
Tack it with a little bit of hot glue. There we go. It's drying, but there's the top.
That'll work.
And then we need a little base to it. This is where I get a little messy with it. It's fine though.
Maybe you could print another penguin at like a smaller size, and then that penguin could ride in the hat of the larger penguin.
Perfect.
You could have a little buddy.
Perfect. So I just glued the top to the brim, and then this guy gets glued onto his head. My glue gun is very hot right now.
I guess that's staying on there then.
There we go. There. He's official. So now, now, he is a fancy penguin. Looking fancy.
That's my penguin sound.
I don't know that that's the right sound effect for this penguin. No. Yeah, I'll take that one. I feel like then the bow tie would spin.
Okay. Yeah, spinning bow tie.
So this is Shivers the Penguin. It is a very fun project to put together. And like I said, if you don't want to do the top hat, you definitely don't have to. It just adds a little bit of character to Shivers. Yeah. Reminder that the template for this can be found on browndoggadgets.com. That's this bad boy. Printing on heavier cardstock is definitely the way to go, so you have a nice sturdy project. If you have any questions after our stream is over, you can email us at help@browndoggadgets.com. We are here for you. You can find us on our social media platforms. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, and YouTube. And then last but not least, if you have not thought about signing up for Pathfinders, we highly suggest you do so. Session title is Circuitry and Robotics with Lego and Microbit. It is a free 40-hour summer PD for public and charter school K-12 educators in the United States. Our session is specifically 4th through 12th grade, and we've got about 15 slots remaining as of right now. Yeah. We hope to open up more slots once we get closer, but that is not in our control, unfortunately. So if we do fill up, that would be a bummer. We would love to have you, so you can sign up at this URL down below. Tomorrow we will be doing another installment of Microbit University, where we have 2 buttons that have been hooked up and will do different things in our code.
Yeah.
And then next week we'll have a bunch of different fun projects as well that I don't remember, and that's okay.
Birthday cards.
Ooh, yes.
And a frog.
Oh, Jumpy.
Yeah, Jumpy.
I'm working on Jumpy now.
Jumpy's good friends with Shivers there. They were born about the same time.
Jumpy and Shivers are besties. I do think that there should be a bunny as well.
Well, you can call him Hoppy or
yeah,
something?
Okay. I think so. I started one day to actually decide to make one, and then gave up.
Yeah, it happens.
I didn't want to anymore.
It's all right.
So, if you want to make one at some point, Pete, feel free.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just put all the tasks on you.
No problem.
All right. That's all we've got for you today. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for Microbit University.
Yeah.
Otherwise, have a great night.
There you go.